like the third time I've tried recording this video, but my phone apparently was full of storage, so I had to go through and delete some stuff. Alright, so I'm trying to talk about basically, I'm trying to do TruckerLife videos, alright. So, biggest thing that I want to talk about is on and off ramps and exits, especially around us. What brought this subject up today is the ongoing events that happened with us that involves those, but more specifically today. What happened today, I was going across Interstate 80 in Ohio before it turns into the Ohio Turnpike. I was coming from Pennsylvania. I was headed west. Anyone who travels 80 knows there's a way station right there in Hubbard, Ohio. Here lately it's been hit or miss if it's been open. So there's an exit right there, and then you got our way station. I was coming up on the on-ramp there before it reaches the way station. There's a car going to be merging onto the interstate. I tried backing off a little bit, but I'm not going to back off too much because I'm 79,500 pounds. Driving at 65 and I'm on a time crunch. But said car didn't know what to do. They expected me to move over, but I wasn't going to move over because I had no clue if the way station was open yet or not. And at that point, my pre-pass wasn't going on. So I wasn't moving over and I wasn't hitting my brakes. It was just going to be one of those that he's either going to speed up and come over or he's going to slow down and get behind me. I really wish he would prefer, I would have preferred him to speed up and then get over. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So, the person wound up taking the shoulder. They took the shoulder and slowed down and got behind. Well, when they had the chance to hit that left lane and go around me, they decided to flip me off. Well, I'm sorry, but in case y'all don't realize, it is your responsibility to be sure you merge onto the interstate correctly and safely. We do not have to get over for you. We do not have to slow down for you. We can't speed up because we're typically 80,000 pounds. And I couldn't speed up anyway because I'm going at 65 and I was already maxed out. So, I'm sorry you got mad. And I hope you see this. Maybe you should learn how on-ramps work. Off-ramps, please do not slow down to 20 under the limit before you reach your off-ramp. I can understand those cloverleaf ramps because I think they're stupid. They're the worst creation ever. I believe Joe Biden created them. They are stupid. Whoever thought that having traffic run into each other was a bright idea is not really all that bright. Because it doesn't work out. I'm surprised more accidents doesn't happen on cloverleaf ramps than they do anywhere else. They definitely don't have a brain. The off ramps I'm talking about is those to where you got the lane, the lane right there, and then it kind of goes up, and maybe you got a couple turns here and there. Sometimes you don't. You come up on your stop sign, you choose whether you want to go right or left. I'm talking about those lanes. They're called a ramp for a reason. They're not for you to slow down from the interstate to get on before you get on the off ramp. They are for you to get on the ramp and then slow down. That's how those works. So honestly, those of you that slow down to freaking 50 miles an hour with the speed limit 70 before you reach the ramp, all you're doing is ticking everyone off behind you. That is all you're doing. And you may not care. But when it comes to you being in a rush and that happens to you, then you care. So, just saying. Saying how kind of selfish you are, don't it? And you might not even realize that it takes people off behind you. But I'm just saying, as a driver who typically gets crunched on his schedule times, because I'm home every weekend, I don't want to hear other drivers that says that if you got to push faster than your truck can go, then you're doing something wrong. I don't want to hear that crap from other drivers. I push faster than the truck can go to make the appointment times so I can get home at a decent time on Friday because I'm home every weekend. So it's not me doing anything wrong, it's just trying to get home at a decent hour on Friday so I'm not home on Saturdays. I can't stand being home on Saturday. So, shush. So while we're on the ramp subject, now you know how on-ramps work. You yield to traffic. Not a lot of times they can get over, especially in my case, today. I couldn't get over because of the way station. But honestly, I'm done getting over for four-wheelers anyway. Because when I get over for four-wheelers, they find the gas pedal when they merge on the interstate. Well, now I done slowed down the super trucker that's ticked off behind me, probably yelling at me on the CV. So, I don't get over because too many four-wheelers are pricks and don't know how these ramps work. So, just saying. Out here in Ohio, on the Ohio Turnpike, you see a yield sign at every ramp. But that's how it's supposed to be. And I guess since people don't know how ramps work and ain't using this thing called a kidney, then maybe we should just put yield signs up everywhere. So, you know how off-ramps work. Don't slow down to 50 miles an hour and 70 to get off. Unless it's a cloverleaf ramp, then I understand. Another thing, when taking your exit, if you see your first sign that says your exit is in 2 miles, your tail needs to be in that right lane, or left lane if it's a left exit. But most exits are in the right lane. Or even if you see if you can't get over then and you see exit 1 mile. Alright? I mean, if you can't get over, throw your blinker on. I'm watching in my mirrors enough to where I see if that blinker is on and I see that you're trying to get over but you can't. Alright, that I can understand because that does happen sometimes on a rare occasion. But if you're just one of those that we're both approaching your actual exit and you're hopping from this 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th lane and you're shooting across all these lanes of traffic just to take that exit right there, you're considered a prick and you're lucky if you don't get hit. You're gonna get the nice sound of this air horn Anytime if you're a four-wheeler, anytime you hear that air horn go, there are 3 times that this thing will blow. 1, they're ticked off at you and they're telling you that you're driving like a dummy. 2, the kid has done the arm pump, so they'll blow it. Or 3, if they see someone on the shoulder and they can't get over, some of us, not all of us drivers, some of us will actually blow the air horn a couple times, let them know, hey, I'm approaching, I can't get over. You're taking that rent, you hear that. Yeah, a lot of drivers are calling you every word in the book. Some drivers are probably giving you the middle finger. So, that happens. Do not cut us off just to take your exit. Don't cut us off, period. Like I said, we can't stop. But the whole cutting us off thing, there's several different times, and that would be a whole different video of what happens to us with that. But if you take us off just to take that exit, you're a prick. And you need to learn how to drive. You should not have your license if you do that. Because we're 80,000 pounds, and if you do that, but you can't get all the way over into your exit, but you need it, and you stop, we hit you, and you'll be dead. And then we have to live with that. But one last point on the taking the exits. This happens normally during rush hour and bigger cities. Bigger cities such as Columbus. 3 lanes wide. We're not allowed in the far left lane. The right 2 lanes are the lanes that we have to use. The middle lane is our passing lane. Similar situation as earlier with the way station. Instead of it being a way station, it was my exit. When you're coming up on your exit and you see traffic backed up, you better get in line. And the back of the line. Don't try getting up to the front. Because several people almost died that day this happened. I was coming up on my exit, so I stayed in the line. This car was coming up the middle lane. I seen her blinker, she wanted over. But her problem is that she stopped 0 miles per hour in that middle lane. A problem was that I realized traffic was backed up for the exit before mine, not my exit. If this lady would have continued to just jump in front of me in the far right lane, I would have been able to slip out in that middle lane and get going because no traffic was coming after her and the vehicle behind her until she stopped. When she stopped, some people came over the hill, and let's just say that one of those people was another driver and he had to shoot in the far left lane to avoid from plowing into these 2 vehicles. Do not stop in the middle of the interstate. You are better off, if you're going to miss that exit or you need to get in that line, you are better off to go to the next exit, turn around, and come back. Because I don't think that lady knew that how close she came to dying that day. And I could not slip out into that middle lane because she stopped in the middle lane, which almost caused me to hit the car behind her. She got lucky that day, so did the vehicle behind her. and so did I. If you're coming, so on ramp, yield to traffic, off ramp, don't slow down 20 under the limit before you get to the ramp. Don't cut us off to take your exit. And if you're coming up on your exit and there's a long line of cars, get in that line. Do not stop in the middle of the interstate. That is one good way to die. And you will be fine. Have a good day, people, and be safe.